Hello, rail fans, and welcome back to another edition of Fallen Flags from America. I'm your host, L&M Productions, and today on episode 30 of Fallen Flags from America, we will be discussing the EMD SD60 series. So, picture of the day is Burlington Northern 8300, which was one of only three SD60s acquired by Burlington Northern, or I should say purchased by Burlington Northern in 1985 from Electro-Motive Division, or EMD. These would be painted in as you can see, the rare and special BM paint scheme called Tiger Stripe, which it was called that because of the black and orange stripe indicated on the nose and cab. The original SD60 model, which was released in the 1980s, as seen here, was meant to update the reliable and unsuccessful SD50 design. The new locomotive looked very similar to the SD50 externally, but internally offered an upgraded prime mover and other updated equipment. While the SD60 itself only sold a few hundred examples, several variants of it did quite well, with more than 1,000 in all being built by the time construction was completed on the design in the mid 90s. In many ways, the rebound of the SD60 helped EMD not only remain competitive against GE, but also may have prevented the company from losing nearly its remaining market share altogether. The model was succeeded by the more successful SD70 series, which again could not reclaim EMD as an industry leader, but was another successful design that sold more than 2,000 examples. Today, the SD60 can be found regularly operating on just about every Class 1 around the country in North America, including Canadian National. The original SD60 design began production in the spring of 1984. It was intended to replace the trouble-prone SD50 model, which suffered from reliability and mechanical issues, along with being a complicated design to maintain, notably with its electronics and microprocessors. The SD60 featured GM's latest 16-cylinder model 710 G3 prime mover, replacing the model used on the trouble-prone SD50, which was the 645 E3, which was the 645F prime mover, which could produce nearly 3,800 horsepower, and the company marketed the locomotive as a heavy haul drag service unit. To back this up, it also offered substantial continuous tractive effort of 98,250 pounds starting and 100,000 pounds continuous using GM's new D87B traction motor. The original SD60 design began production in the spring of '84. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that when I was going through the notes here. This was a vast increase over the SD50 and even the SD38 and 40 series, as these models generally offer between 80,000 to 90,000 pounds of tractive effort. The EMD series consists of 5 models offered by EMD between 1984 to 1985, with these being the SD60, the SD60M, the SD60I, the SD60F, and the SD60 Mac. The SD60 Mac were experimental test locomotives for what would become the SD70, used on BN and lease service to judge for performance and buyer amounts for what would be the SD70, which would come later in the 90s. The SD60 was built in 1984, going to the Burlington Northern Railway, purchased 3 units numbered 8300 to 8302. The Chicago Northwestern Transportation Company, 55 units numbered 8001 through 8055. Comrail with 25 units, 6843 through 6867. CSX Transportation Company, 23 units, 8700 through 8721. Hang on, I'm trying to find something here in my notes. Give me 1 second. And also 8790 on CSX. EMDX 1 through 4, these were demonstrator models. These 4 would later be sold to Conrail, renumbered to 6840 through 6842. The Kansas City Southern Railway with 46 units, 719 through 759. Norfolk Southern Railroad Company with 49 units, 6564 through 6503. Oakway Leasing with 100 units built as EMD leasers. They were acquired secondhand by Oakway Leasing, numbered 9003 through 9097. Sioux Line, 57 units, numbered 6000 through 6057. These would later be sold off to CFX, keeping their Sioux numbers. Union Pacific Railway Company with 85 units, numbered 6000 through 6084, and later renumbered to 2100 through 2239. The Canadian National Railway, 90 units acquired secondhand from C&W/UP, number 5400 through 5489. These can still be found on the CN today, still operating. The next locomotive on the SD60 catalog was the SD60M. The SD60M was built between 1989 through 1985, with the new North American Safety Cab, or NASC, instead of the regular Spartan cab, using an EMD 710 G3 16-cylinder engine, the same of which was in the standard SD60. The SD60M was originally ordered by 4 railroads, being the Burlington Northern Railway, 100 units numbered BN 1991 and 9200 through 9298. These were acquired by BNSF in 1995, and most can still be found today operating on BNSF. Conrail with 75 units, numbered 5500 through 5574, acquired secondhand by NS and CSX in 1999. Unfortunately, most of these have since been sold off to short lines or retired, and as far as NS goes, they've been rebuilt as SD60Es. Sioux Line with 5 units, numbered 6858 through 6862. These would be acquired secondhand by the Canadian Pacific. Union Pacific Railway Company with 281 units, numbered 6085 through 6365. These would later be renumbered to the 2100 and 2200 and 2500 series, being numbered 2158 through 2159, 2240 through 2520. I believe these have since been retired by Union Pacific, although I'm not 100% sure. Norfolk Southern Railway acquired secondhand from both Conrail and CFX/BN. CSX Transportation, 30 units acquired secondhand from Conrail, numbered 8756 through 8786. The SD60i was the next variant in the SD60 catalog, which was a rare version of the SD60 series, with 80 built, all going to Conrail, with all being numbered 5575 through 5674. These are a very special version of the SD60, which have the isolated cab, hence the name SD60i. The next version was the SD60F, which was a version of the SD60 that used the full cow body version, ordered exclusively by the Canadian National Railway, with 64 units numbered 5500 through 5563. These were nicknamed Draper Tapers, by CN and rail fans alike, with them finding homes on Canadian short lines after being retired by CN in 2017. The last version of the SD60 to be produced was the SD60 Mac, which was an experimental version of the SD60 series to serve as subsequent orders for the SD70 Mac. The 470 Macs, well, I meant to say 60 Macs, were given BN numbers, being numbered 9500 through 9503. They would be returned. Hang on a second. Let me just flip my page. They would be returned to EMD in the mid-90s when BN started taking delivery of their new SD70 Macs. EMD later cut all four up in 1997 through 1999. Rebuilds. The SD60E. This rebuild program was designed to upgrade the 1980s SD60 with current electronic controls and crashworthiness upgrades. This program was the most innovative and ambitious program yet. The rebuilds feature some in-house innovations, most obvious being the NS Design Crescent Cab, which meets FRA crashworthiness standards and is manufactured by Curry Supply. The rebuilds receive a Tier 4 Plus 16-cylinder 710 G3B prime mover rated at 4,000 horsepower compared to the standard SD60's 3,800 horsepower. The engine's performance is enhanced even more by electronic fuel injection and a patent-pending split cooling system designed by Don Faulkner and Juniata mechanical supervisor Bill Thompson. Locomotive 2012, 46. This makes the locomotives be 7% more fuel efficient. The rebuilds also receive a new electronic cabinet and wiring, EM2000 microprocessors, and CARN CCB26 electronic brakes. All 126 SD60s on NS's roster have been or will be cycled through the rebuild. These include 135 NS units purchased new and 25 units acquired in 2012 from Helm Leasing. In 2013, 25 more SD60s were purchased from Helm Leasing. These will likely be rebuilt as well. NS currently has around 100 SD60Es in active service. 7010 was the most recently completed unit. NS 6920 has been painted in a special paint scheme honoring veterans. NS 6963 was painted very recently to honor Go Rail's 10th anniversary. NS 911 was supposed to be 7003, but was painted in a special paint scheme to honor first responders and was renumbered to 911. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Fallen Flags America covering the SD60 series. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, if you have a comment on what video you'd like me to do next or what topic you'd like me to cover next, please be sure to leave it down below. But until we meet again somewhere out there on the high iron, this is L&M Productions, out.